Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Fish Report Live. That is Ken Francis. I'm Craig Fissinger, and thanks for joining us tonight. It is Wednesday night, September 12th, 2012, and Ken, what'd you think of that new intro video we got?
That was a heck of an intro video, Craig. I was impressed. I don't know who put that together, if it was Ross or TK or Heavy D or somebody in the studio, but did a nice job, and I thank them for that.
Well, it just shows you what kind of fun we've been having in the past year, and this year we're having even more fun and having fun with a couple new guys in the booth. TK and Heavy D, introduced them last week. Why don't you guys say hi again?
Hey, good evening, guys. Getting a little crowded in here with Heavy D, but we're making it.
Buenos noches. It is tight, but we'll get through it.
Heavy D, I got to ask you, I know last week was your first week on the show, had a few butterflies. I want to ask you if it shot you into superstardom or anything. Anybody stop you on the street over the weekend?
Yeah, I've got quite a calling right now, signing autographs here and there, but having a great time on the show, and back to you.
All right. Well, we've got a great show lined up tonight, Ken. And I guess before we get started, we probably ought to explain to our viewers exactly the shirts we're wearing. This Logan's Irish Pub. What's that all about?
Well, last Saturday, Craig, we made a trip up to Tiffin, and we had to stop somewhere on the way home. And it happened to be, we found a place called Logan's Irish Pub in Findlay, and had a great time. We were there. Ben Roethlisberger was not there, but we asked for him.
We asked about him.
And they knew about Fish Report. They watched us. Ben knew about it. And he was actually in there a week before looking for us, but he was a week early.
I'm not so sure about that, but I did hear he was there. So we'll go with that. I actually had the Reuben and a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and I got to say it was tasty. So.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right. Well, listen, we got a big show tonight. We are going to be talking about Tiffin a little later tonight, including that big-time interview we had with probably the fastest guy in Ohio, Sam Prakel from Versailles. Can't wait to get to that. We're actually going to be talking golf for the first time ever tonight, too, aren't we?
We got some great golf highlights from last night. Last night we went over to Stillwater Golf Club over in Versailles, watched the Raiders golf team, and I tell you what, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to talking about that tonight. And let's get started like we always do, though, Ken, with our weekly trivia question. What do you got for me tonight?
Well, Craig, we're talking golf, right?
That's
tonight?
right.
Okay.
That's right.
And so tonight's trivia question deals with golf. How many times did Jack Nicklaus win the Medalist Award at the OHSA State Golf Championship? How many times was Jack Nicklaus the medalist at the state golf?
I'm going to guess it's not more than 4.
It's not more than 4. It's between 0 and 4.
Okay.
And you want another hint?
Give me all the help I can get.
A lot of our listeners, and maybe this guy's even listening tonight as well, Ashley Wilt, who played some high school golf at Anna.
Yeah, I remember Ashley.
I believe he's a golf pro at Minster.
I think so.
He won it the same amount of times as Jack Nicklaus.
Oh, wow.
So Ashley Wilt and Jack Nicklaus have this in common.
That's some pretty good company there.
Yes, it is.
All right, so my choices are just what? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
All right, well, listeners, I need some help out there. Ashley, if you're watching, send me a text, get on the social stream tab, whatever. I could use some help, but we'll get back to that answer at the end of the show. So, all right, Ken, let's move on and talk some golf. Like I said, we were at Stillwater last night, and the Raider boys have kind of got off to a pretty good start this season, haven't they?
They're off to a great start. They're led by a pair of seniors, Treg Francis and
Bryce Deuce.
Bryce Deuce.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bryce. And also a good junior hitter, Austin Tabby. Boy, I'm struggling with his golf team. And then you got sophomore Luke Daypore and a couple freshmen rounding it out, and Connor Monin and Zach Sherman. So they play some good golf over there. I was impressed with them. And they got one league loss. And they've done very well in some invitationals, and we got some highlights to show for them.
Yeah, I've never been on a golf course before for a high school match, but it was kind of interesting being out there last night, and we did snag some nice interviews. So why don't we take a look at the video and see what happened last night. Last night, the Russia Raiders boys golf team hosted Houston out at Stillwater and won the match 163 to 203. Varsity players Treg Francis, Bryce Dews, Austin Tebby, Luke Dayport, Zach Sherman, and Connor Monner are having a great season so far. We asked them about their play and who their competition is.
We're up to a good season, especially in the league. We're tied for first right now, and we got a league match coming up next week, and we're hoping to win the league. I'd say the season's going pretty good. We got a good 1, 2, 3. They're averaging 39, 42, 42. But other than that, we're tied for the league right now with Botkins and Fairlawn.
This year Fairlawn's the team to beat. They really stepped up their game the past few years, and I know we can take them though.
We also asked them about their goals this season and found they all think alike.
Our first goal is to win the league here next week, but after that, we'd like to make it at least to districts, get down to Weatherwax. That'd be nice. Our long-term goals are to obviously win the Shelby County League and get that W here, and then go down to sectional, which is at Greenville, Turtle Creek, and hopefully get out there and make it to districts. And if we can make it to Weatherwax, hopefully make it to state for the first time in school history.
I want to see the team win the league this year again, to go back-to-back, and then we'll go to sectionals. And our goal is to get first in sectionals every year, but just advancing to districts is always a good thing. And then for districts, every year our goal is to make it to state, but even as an individual, people can go. So we always want to root on our teammates if we have a bad day so they can go to state.
All right, Ken. Well, that was fun talking to those guys last night. Actually, after we talked to them, we found out the standings changed. They were talking about Fairlawn on there, but the standings changed last night, didn't they?
They did. Botkins actually knocked off Fairlawn last night in a big match over at Shelby Oaks. So that was kind of tossed things up a little bit. So right now, I believe the actual standings are Russia has 1 league loss. Botkins has 1 league loss. Fairlawn actually has 2 league losses. So a lot of that will come down to next week when all the teams go head-to-head at Stillwater Golf Course. And, if Russia can come out on top there, obviously they'll be the Shelby County League champions.
All right. Well, one thing we didn't ask the guys last night was some of the other big programs to look out for. They talked about the league teams, but can you tell us some of the bigger programs in the state that the Raiders might need to look for down the line?
Yeah, and at the district level, with the teams in the golf, the teams to look out for will probably be a lot of your Cincinnati schools. A couple local teams, Russia, Fairlawn, Botkins, Lehman may have a shot, but your Cincinnati teams tend to be very strong. Cincinnati Christian, Middletown Christian, Country Day, and Seven Hills are some of the better programs down there that you need to look out for.
And there's a team just down the road, Minster. They're not too bad, are they?
They're a very good team. They'll actually be in a different district, so Russia would not need to worry about Minster at this level. But, yes, they are a very good golf team. So.
Okay. Well, it was fun talking about boys golf. Let's move over to girls golf. Anything to discuss tonight in girls golf?
Actually, we got a full report from Coach Doug Borchers. I'll tell you what, Coach Borchers, he guy knows light bulbs. And he knows girls golf.
Yeah, those are two things.
And he's doing a fantastic job over there with the girls program at Russia. He's got some consistent play all year on a Morgan Doherty, Taylor Borchers, Alexa Counts, Angie Molenkamp, Gina Barloggy, and Kayla Plyman. He doesn't have any one big superstar there, but he's just got some good golfers that have been playing consistent. Last night they had a big win over a good St. Henry team. Earlier in the year they also had wins over Minster and also Fort Loramie. So, they're playing some good golf as well, Craig, and the main thing is I believe they're improving each week and they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's definitely got that program heading in the right direction, and someday we'll have to get him on this show. So.
I know one thing. He will accept an invitation to the show, and he will talk.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to getting Coach Borchers on a show in the future. And I think that's going to do it for our golf talk tonight, Ken. Let's take a little commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school cross country. We're going to show that interview with the #1 runner in the state of Ohio, the fastest boy in the state of Ohio. And speaking of the #1 runners in Ohio, we've got a little video here to show you of the Big Orange cross country team from over in West Liberty. They were #1 in the state coaches poll this week. And check out this video with seniors Megan Vogel, Jasmine Smith, and Sean DeHano. We'll be back.
We're the Big Orange cross country team, and
hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But watch the fish report for cross country results daily.
Sweep the floor, change the sound of clothes to like the restless girls is ready for the night. All the ready for the night. 17 pissed at the world, we don't know why, but it's worth that for. Tomorrow's just a lifetime away, but tonight is everything. It's another small town song about nothing ever going on a Friday night. Heading to town, score some bills, sneak up to housing. Check out the local bands, tie on the bus and take a chance with the pretty girl just to get shot down. Just another night in a small town. Girls are wearing the Mendes house, been there for a while, feeling good, no doubt. Careless men that a broken heart, on the side of the way, says she's tired of it all. Can't hang out in the middle no more. The cops ran us off the wild night shore. We'll just cruise the outskirts of town till we run out of beer, all the gas runs out. 17 pissed at the world, we don't know why, but it's worth that for. Tomorrow's just a lifetime away, but tonight is everything. It's another small town song about nothing ever going on a Friday night.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Fish Report Live. Well, Ken, before the break, we were talking golf. We're going to change it back to one of our favorite subjects, high school cross country. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we were up in Tiffin last Saturday, and I went with you and TK. We made the trip up there. Thought it might get rained on, but turned out to be a pretty beautiful day, didn't it?
Turned out to be real nice. You know, we had a lot of rain that Friday night here in the Miami Valley, but the further north and the further east we went, the nicer the weather got. And by the time we got there, the rain was cleared out of there. And, you know, the Tiffin course was wet. It was sloppy, but could have been a lot worse. So pretty happy with the whole day in general, and awful glad that TK and yourself got to go up with me. First time for both of you on a trip to Tiffin, and definitely not the last.
That's right. Like I mentioned to you on the trip home, I'll be going up there for years to come. A lot of fun. But anyway, we saw some great races up there. Saw some good Division II, Division III girls races. We've got a little video recap, and why don't we check out the video and see exactly what happened in those contests. We'll start our coverage with the Division II varsity girls race in Tiffin, where there was a familiar sight at the front of the pack. Coldwater Cavaliers sophomore Sarah Caney led 168 runners around a hilly and slightly muddy course. Coldwater is actually a Division III team, tied for first in the state coaches poll right now, but decided to run up a division and take on the mighty Fighting Irish from Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's. Like all season, Caney had a comfortable lead at the halfway point of the race, and Akron's Julia Mendiola, who you'll see in fourth place coming up the hill, went on to finish second in the end with a time of 19:08 and lead the Fighting Irish to the victory over second place Coldwater 46-128. Caney took individual honors with a time of 18:34 and was the only D2 girl to break 19 minutes on Saturday. Teammate and sister Jill Caney was the second Cavalier to cross the finish line in 8th place with a time of 19:26. We'll now move on to the Division III girls race in Tiffin, and what a matchup this was. 3 of the top 4 teams in the state, West Liberty Salem, Minster, and Russia, squared off in this one. The field was huge with 50 teams and 334 total finishers. Toledo Christian's Delaney Phelps took the early lead in this one and was followed closely by Russia's Lauren Francis and West Liberty's Meg Vogel. You'll also see Lauren Heaton and Emily Borchers of Russia in the top 10. By the time they made the hill, Phelps was trailed by Gates Mills Hawkins' Alexandra Marovich in second place. Francis and Vogel slipped back to 4th and 5th. Heaton, Borchers, and Minster's Julia Slonkoski rounded out the top 10. Following in 11th was Fort Laramie's Meg Westerheide, and in 12th was Minster's Hannah Butler. At the 2-mile mark, Phelps had built a small lead on Marovich. Vogel slipped in front of Francis, and Borchers and Heaton battled a couple teammates from Sugar Creek Garraway. Julia Slonkoski also started making her move, moving up one spot in the 9th over Ashland Crestview's Emily Trent. As they headed for home, Vogel increased her third-place lead on Francis to about 5 seconds, and coming off the bridge, the Russia duo of Borchers and Heaton started to wear down the 2 Sugar Creek Garraway runners. Slonkoski wasn't far behind, still in 9th. It was an exciting finish, though, after Maravich caught back up with Phelps, but didn't have enough kick left as Phelps won by 3 seconds with a time of 18:40. Vogel ran her 5th consecutive PR with a time of 19:10, just 3 seconds faster than Francis. Right behind her were teammates Borchers and Heaton, making Russia the only team with 3 girls to break 20 minutes in the race. But it wasn't enough to win as the Raiders team finished second to Minster, 111 to 145. Slonkowski finished 7th overall with this nice kick in the end. The West Liberty team finished 3rd overall with a score of 176. Well, Ken, that Tiffin race, it's the biggest race of the biggest race in Ohio. It's the highlight of the regular season. It kind of determines the standings for the rest of the year, doesn't it?
Well, not exactly, Craig, although a lot of coaches do look at that. But, last year, the eventual state champion, Liberty Center, actually finished 5th at Tiffin and ended up winning the state championship. However, it does set a big tone for who the top teams are, who the teams are to beat. And, I think Minster just ran an outstanding race, as did Russia, to be honest with you. I thought Russia, ran very well. West Liberty ran very well. So, some local teams there that just really showcasing themselves.
Yeah, a lot of fun watching those top 3 teams in the state duke it out there. Coldwater was in the Division II race. It would have been fun to have them in our race as well, but I understand them running that D2 race.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with stepping out of your division sometimes and competing against a team like Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
True. You mentioned Liberty Center, and they had a young lady last year by the name of Brittany Atkinson that won state. I was kind of looking for her in the D3 race and noticed she wasn't there.
She actually ran in the Division I race, Craig. That race actually was held in the afternoon, I think at 4 o'clock. They had several junior and senior girls taking the ACT test, so they opted to go for a later-in-the-day race, but she ran very well. She's been coming off of an injury, and she did run a sub-19, which was very impressive.
Well, I look forward to seeing her. I probably at the state level, I imagine.
I'm sure you'll see her.
All right. Well, that takes care of the girls' races. We saw some good boys' races as well, and saw a lot of local area teams there, didn't we?
We did. There was a lot of local area teams there. The top finishing team was the Wildcats from Minster. They came in 3rd overall in the Division III race. Coldwater put on a nice showing, finishing 6th. Russia finished 10th, and Versailles 15th.
Speaking of Versailles, we got a chance to talk to, I guess he's the fastest guy in Ohio, at least he was last year, and Sam Prakel. We found out he's also a Fish Report follower, isn't he?
He's a Fish Report follower, Craig, and, it was great to talk to Sam. And when I first mentioned about the interview for the Fish Report, he just got a big smile on his face, and he said, I watch the Fish Report. He said, I read the Fish Report. He said, I'd love to do an interview for you.
All right. Well, we found out a few more things about Sam as well, and we got some video to show you, so check this out. Last year at the Ohio High School State Cross Country Meet, Versailles' Sam Prakel finished his junior season running a personal record of 15:19 in the Division III race. Prakel's time was so good he would have won both the Division II and Division I races. This year, the 2011-2012 Gatorade Ohio Boys Cross Country Runner of the Year is back at it. Prakel won the Tiffin Carnival this past Saturday in a season-best time of 15:32. This was the 2nd year in a row that the senior won Tiffin, the biggest regular season meet of the year. Fish Report got the chance to talk to Prakel about the Tiffin race and his schedule coming up.
Yeah, it was a hard week of practice. Our team's doing some hard workouts and kind of training through these mid of the season meets. So I'm glad that I got the win today, and hopefully once we start to taper towards the end of the season, I'll feel even better and run some faster times. We're at Graham next week. Then we have our home invitational tour to Seward, and then we're at Buckins, and then Glines and Mack in postseason.
Okay.
One of Prakel's biggest challenges this year may come from St. Thomas Aquinas Jr. Cory Glines, pictured on the right here with Russia sophomore Alex Herron. Glines finished 5th at the state meet last year, almost 33 seconds behind Prakel. This year, Glines seems to have closed the gap after running stride for stride with Prakel for much of the Tiffin race, finishing 2nd, just 4 seconds behind this time. We talked to Glines in Tiffin about what he needs to do to beat Prakel.
I'm definitely getting closer to him. I haven't done any speed training at all. It's all been base training, so I feel like when I get all that, I'll definitely be closer because most people aren't getting much of a shot against him, but I wasn't too far behind him today, and I felt like I can definitely kick with him after today, so I just got to whip him in the last 100.
Sam's been known to kind of hang with the pack for a little while and then really turn it on the last 400. Is that where you feel you got to, or would you rather have yourself a big lead on Sam and let him catch up?
My goal is, I know if I push the pace, he'll come with me. That's just how he is, so my goal is definitely to push the pace so he really can't sit and kick and then try and take something out of him, and so when we kick, we're kind of even.
Prakel knows Glines is gunning for him, and we asked about his strategy.
Yeah, I was expecting Glines and Pullman to be up there. They both have been there the past couple years, and I know they have some good speed and some good endurance. So I was expecting, and I ran a strategic race and knew that they're going to be there in the end, and made sure to save a little big kick.
You seem to save the kick towards the end, Sam. And whether I watch you in track or in cross country, you know, it seems like the field just kind of likes to hang with Sam as long as it can, and then Sam just kicks it in. Is that always your race strategy?
That's one of my favorite race strategies. But I think like going into the season, I can experiment a little bit with some different race strategies. So we'll see.
Finally, we put rivalry aside and asked both stars about future plans after high school.
Definitely going to college and running. Don't know where yet. I'd like to go D1, so we'll see.
I'm looking at a couple colleges. I have some official visits scheduled to Notre Dame, Georgetown, and Princeton right now. So I'm looking forward to those. These are going to be throughout the season, just like some over the weekend stuff after the meets. So I'm excited to look at some schools, but at the same time enjoying my senior year.
All right, Ken. He was a great interview, wasn't he? He had a lot to say. I told him, I said, Sam, we're going to have to start talking to you more often.
Yes, he was. It was just great to have Sam to take a few minutes out of his time and his busy schedule there. But he did. He just did a fantastic job, and we were very fortunate to track him down.
Yeah, and those aren't some bad schools that he has to choose from either, are they?
No, you know, you look at Notre Dame and Georgetown and Princeton, you know, hey, that's about as good as you're going to get right there. So again, thanks to Sam for taking his time out of his busy day there, and you know, be proud of your accomplishments, and Versailles community, be proud of Sam because you got yourself a fine young man.
All right, well, that takes care of what happened last week. Why don't we talk about what's happened since then and what's coming up?
Well, the other last night actually was the Fort Laramie Invitational held in Fort Laramie, and you know, a lot of teams, the midweek meets, they kind of use them as training runs, so they don't go out and hit it real hard, especially some of your marquee runners. So Coldwater actually came out on top in the boys and girls race, and but they had good participation over there in Fort Laramie. And on a side note there, the Russia Junior High boys won again, and there's a team, listeners out there, that team is undefeated this year. I don't know what their overall record is, but I'm guessing it's probably in the neighborhood of 85-0 right now. And to be honest with you, I don't see them losing all year. So for a team to go undefeated all year, that's pretty impressive. So congratulations to the Russia Junior High boys.
Wow, a lot coming up, a lot of to expect, I guess, coming up for the Raiders in the future. And well, good. Well, that's going to take care of our cross-country talk tonight. Ken, before we close the show, anything else in the wide world of sports to talk about tonight?
Well, there's a couple other things, Craig, and hot off the press, actually, and we're going to be one of the first to report this, right?
All right, yeah.
You know what I'm going to report?
I'm not sure what you're going to say here, but
hot off the press, just received word on this about 45 minutes ago that shooting guard from Versailles, sophomore Kyle Arns, has received his first Division I offer from a college basketball. So
Kyle Arns, the sophomore,
the
right?
sophomore Kyle Arns, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks have made Kyle Arns an official offer to play basketball there. It's his first offer and probably the first of many.
Yeah, first of many, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so he's still got all of this season and 2 more seasons to go.
Yeah. But so it'll be fun to watch him play as he continues playing for the Tigers over there in Versailles. And volleyball, the Lady Raider volleyball team stays hot. They're playing very well. They've had a couple more wins this week. Right now, the Shelby County League standings, Fort Laramie is undefeated, and Russia and Anna trail the Redskins both by one game. So I don't have a whole lot else to report on volleyball, but we could go back to the sound room and check with Heavy D and TK.
You're right, Ken. It's really turning into a dogfight right now. It's early in the Shelby County season. They're about a third of the way through, and Laramie is the big dog on the block. Went to the Russia-Laramie game the other day. Went 5 games. I think it ended up in the 5th game going to Laramie 15-12. I talked to some of the players afterwards who looked at the stats. Total points, this is how close this game was. Total points, Laramie 115, Russia 114.
Oh, wow.
Keep an eye on volleyball. It's going to be tight all year, and Jackson's also in the hunt. Don't count them out. It's going to be a good one.
And Heavy D, Russia still has a trip over to Laramie. Is that right?
Right. They took one on their own court, loss. They got to return the favor to Laramie over in Redskin territory.
All right. Well, that's we're pretty much covering all the sports tonight, aren't we, Ken?
We do. I don't think we missed. I don't think we missed anything. The only thing we didn't talk about was high school football, and we'll probably hit the heck out of that one the next show.
That sounds good. All right, well, let's get back to that trivia question you asked me at the beginning of the night, and give me my choices again. And
all right, Craig, your choices are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many times did Jack Nicklaus win the medalists at the OHSA State Golf Championship?
And you said it's the same number as Ashley Wilt.
And it's the same number of times Ashley Wilt has won it. So Ashley Wilt, if you're listening out there, and any of our Minster listeners or people that know Ashley, pretty impressive that he has won it the same amount of times as Jack Nicklaus.
I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say 2. 2.
2 is correct.
All right.
Good job, Craig. You had a lot of help on that one, too, tonight. I seen the Social Stream Network board was just going crazy tonight with a bunch of deuces floating up there. But Jack Nicklaus, just for a little information there, Jack Nicklaus won it in 1956 and 57 while he was playing for Upper Arlington High School. And Ashley Wilt did not win it while he was at Anna. He did play some high school golf at Anna, but he actually won it in 1994 and 1995 while he was playing high school golf at North Robinson Crawford.
Okay. Well, great trivia question, as always, Ken. So, all right, well, we always give away a T-shirt every week, and I was going to nominate St. Thomas Aquinas' Cory Glines, but from the looks of that picture there with Rushie's Alex Herron, looks like he's already got a Rushie T-shirt.
Cory's already got a Rushie shirt, so can I make a nomination this week?
Sure, go ahead.
How about the fastest guy in Ohio?
We gave a T-shirt to the fastest girl in Ohio last week.
We did,
or one of the fastest girls at least.
How about we give one to Sam Prakel this week?
That sounds great. Maybe he can put that T-shirt on right after he crosses the finish line in first place at state this year.
Sounds great. He did a great job in his interview, and we appreciate that. And so, Sam, we'll get you a T-shirt out there.
All right. Well, that's going to take care of it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and for TK and Heavy D back in the booth, and for my partner here, Ken. This is Craig Fissinger saying so long, everyone, and good night.